Okay, so hello, my name is Vincent, and today I'll be talking on how a soccer ball spins. So, my fascination with this topic really started when I was around 14 or 15 when I was playing a soccer game against my rival team, East Brunswick, in the rain. So, got onto the field, my first touch, went past my defender, went down the wing, sent in a cross, but before I did that, I got knocked over. I was laying down on the floor, all hit, and I saw the ball fly across, no time left. In my mind, I'm thinking, great, I ruined the game. All of a sudden, parents were in shock, I was in shock, my teammates were in shock, and the coaches were in shock as the ball started to pick up spin and go over the goalie. To this day, I've been playing soccer since I was 4, and I'm still playing now, and that was the nicest goal I've ever scored. So, my agenda is I want to break down how a soccer ball spins. So if you want to use these techniques in real life, or just break down slow motion replay when you see. And I want everyone to understand how a soccer ball spins, but I'm not going to include the math because no one likes math. So physics. So the 5 reasons a soccer ball spins are Newton's laws of motion, the Magnus effect, foot placement, friction, and ball movement. All these work together in creating a perfect spin for a ball. So first one is Newton's laws of motion. This is the most basic reason a ball spins. So law number 1. When an object is in motion, it will stay in motion. So here's someone playing soccer. By the way his foot is placed, you can see the ball's going to go that way. So nothing's going to stop it unless something gets in the way, or gravity, or just starts to slow down. Next is the acceleration of the ball depends on how hard you kick it. This is easily determined as F equals ma, force equals mass times acceleration. So the amount of force you kick it with is determined by the mass times how fast you kick it. And then the final law of motion is there's an equal and opposite reaction. This is just simple, either friction or gravity. Kick a ball forward, something's going to be pulling it back down or back. Next is the Magnus effect. Now this was a little more complex, but when I found the information from an article by MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, we broke it down as the Magnus effect is when a ball or cylinder travels away from its intended path. So here's a diagram. This is the wind. This is the predetermined path. So it's basically wind. So you kick a ball, starts to spin, and as it starts to spin, it pretty much sucks in the air on the direction it's spinning from, which will alter the path and make a curve. Next is foot placement. Now, there's really 2 types of foot placement. There's on-the-ball foot placement, so where you kick it on the ball, and then off the ball, which is the part of your foot. And this determines how the ball will spin or no spin at all. So here are a pair of cleats. These happen to be the cleats I'm wearing now. So you kick it with the inside of your foot, it will produce a counterclockwise spin. You kick it with the outside of the foot, which is harder because there's a smaller area of the ball you need to kick it with. It will produce a clockwise spin. And then the middle, which is pretty much known as the sweet spot, will produce little to no spin. And if it produces no spin, it will take the path of the Magnus effect and just go straight forward, and that's considered a knuckleball. So, and then there's foot placement on the ball. So this is a ball. Middle is called the sweet spot, which again produces either little movement to no movement. Kick it on the right side of the ball, considered a finesse shot, and it produces the counterclockwise spin. As I said before, it's easier to kick it on that side. If you're a righty specifically, most soccer players tend to be righties. Kick it on the left side, you can see the area that you need to kick it on is much smaller, and it produces the clockwise spin. And then there's the top of the ball, which is the top spin area. This determines how much spin you put on it, so it dips or just gets to the ground quicker. Next is friction. There's not really much about soccer and friction, just that friction is really present, is always going to be present, and it's what causes the ball to slow down, so you can't keep kicking it forever. You can't just punt the ball, just keep going to the stratosphere. So here's your ball. You kick it forward with force, it's going to go forward, but the friction is going to prevent it from traveling forever and ever and ever. Finally, there is the ball motion in the air. Now, in physics, it's going to be considered a projectile, and when it's considered a projectile, it will always, pretty much what goes up must come down. So ball goes up, it has to come down. And when it does that, it usually goes in a parabola or arc. So once it reaches the highest point, it has to come down, and then here's a graph. So you can see on the right is the speed. So you kick it at your fastest speed, it's going to go far, but then as it starts to slow down, it's going to go farther and farther and farther. So that's really it. To conclude, these are the reasons why a ball spins. So now if you watch a slow motion replay of a soccer player or even any sport, you could kind of break down what happens, and really without physics, you could just, without the numbers, you could actually just say, oh, it took the path of Magnus effect. Oh, it just curved from a counterclockwise spin. And that's how it works out, and that's it.